So, we all know that as far as living things go, humans win. But unfortunately, our bodies are still basically just a haphazard collection of bones and meat glued together. This becomes a real problem when you look at professional athletes who are currently considered to be the most expensive human real estate in the world. When they break, it costs a lot of money. In 2015 alone, the top 4 European football leagues blew 1.7 billion euros just paying the salaries of guys sitting on the bench with torn ligaments and busted ankles. But it turns out, if you just watch how people walk, a little thing science calls gait analysis, you can predict and prevent almost half of these injuries. Gait monitoring is absolutely essential for medical, sports, and assisted living applications. Today, we're diving into the world of foot tracking technology. Forget some guy running on the treadmill. We're talking about smart socks and shoe pressure systems, technology that exists specifically to measure the exact pressure of your crusty little heels and tell you that you walk like a duck and it's slowly destroying your spine. If you want to track someone's sloppy walking habits, there are 4 main types of devices you can use. First, you've got platform systems. These are essentially force plates embedded in a treadmill, and they are considered the gold standard for precision. But they have the distinct disadvantage of lacking all portability, meaning you are stuck testing people in a hospital basement instead of, the real world. Second, we have in-shoe systems. These are much more flexible and mobile, but historically they require you to be strapped up with cumbersome electrical wires around your waist like a bootleg cyborg. Third are smart wireless insoles. These fix the wire problem by using Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, but they act as a thick, squishy layer inside your shoe that completely distorts the real data of your foot's natural loading. Finally, the holy grail, and the point of this video, smart socks. These are textile-based systems with the sensors woven directly into the fabric, meaning they don't ruin your shoe or tether you to a wall. They use everything from capacitive and resistive sensors to lasers that straight up conduct ink. But as we'll find out later, they come with a fatal flaw that makes them pretty gross to live with. Enter a guy named Oisin Lennon. In 2017, he looked at a regular cotton tube sock and said, "This needs more data." With the backing of the Irish government, he funded Danu Sports. They created a smart sock that maps 14,000 data points on your foot using a bed of discrete pressure sensors. The magic of these things is that they mold perfectly to the shape of your foot. They can be set up in 5 seconds, and they instantly beam all your biometric data straight to a coach's smartphone via Bluetooth. Something that would normally take a 3-hour slog in a lab can be harvested in about 15 minutes. These aren't just for guys kicking balls on the field either. Danu actually teamed up with the shoe brand Hoka for the Alta Trail de Mont Blanc, a casual 174-kilometer death march through France, Italy, and Switzerland. Sponsored athletes wore the socks to test exactly how Hoka sneakers handled the grueling terrain, allowing the company to get an in-depth analysis on how their shoes actually perform when humans are pushed to their absolute physical limits. As it turns out, shoving a computer in a sock can also solve a lot of medical mysteries. Take diabetes, for instance. They can lose feeling in their feet, meaning a badly fitting shoe can literally rub a hole in their foot without them noticing, leading to nasty ulcers. Companies like TexiSense, Siren, and Smart Socks weave thermistors and pressure sensors into the fabric to monitor the foot and warn a patient's phone if things are getting too hot or compressed before their foot essentially rots off. Then you have Parkinson's disease. Instead of an expensive clinical visit, a patient can just wake up, put on these socks, and go about their day, and the doctor gets a full day's analysis on how they navigate their living room. We've even got sensory augmentation for amputees. The Pro Cover system is a 3-layer smart fabric worn right over the prosthetic leg. It reads pressure and translates it to haptic feedback, allowing the person to actually feel the ground again. And of course, because parents love to terrify themselves, we have baby monitors like the Owlet and Baby Vida. These are tiny smart socks equipped with pulse oximeters that track a sleeping baby's oxygen and heart rate. The Owlet sock beams the data to a Wi-Fi base station that flashes and screams if the baby's vitals dip. Pediatricians actually hate these things because they haven't been proven to prevent sudden infant death syndrome, but they have been proven to turn every parent into a sleep-deprived anxious alarm system. Now, if smart socks are the new kids on the block, the PedsRx system is the grumpy, reliable old guard. It is considered the gold standard of the in-shoe systems. It's a 2mm thick insole packed with 99 sensors, and it's used to figure out exactly why humans are constantly hurting themselves. Take basketball. Researchers use PEDAR to track maximum effort sprints and layups on different courts, in a twist that makes zero sense. Playing on a supposedly bouncy wooden court actually puts more impact stress on your toes and medial forefoot than playing on a straight up asphalt. In ice hockey, they slapped a PEDAR system and a 3D accelerometer onto some skates. They proved that the acceleration phase, specifically the second stride, is the ultimate biomechanical difference between an NHL pro and a guy who plays on the weekends. And finally, in a shocking revelation that absolute zero woman will find surprising, high heels are terrible for you. A PEDAR study put young women on a wobbly platform in 1, 5, 8, and 10 centimeter heels. The 10 centimeter heels completely wrecked their posture stability, violently shifting their center of pressure forward and making them wobble side to side like a drunk Viking. So if these things are so great, why aren't we all wearing microchips on our toes right now? Well, the systems are wildly expensive, and the optical fiber ones are incredibly fragile. But here's the biggest hurdle. You can't wash them. The wearable electronics are mounted directly onto textiles, meaning if you toss your sock into a washer, you're going to completely short-circuit the whole operation. So right now you have to meticulously rip the electronics out every time you sweat, or you just deal with the fact that your cutting-edge medical device smells like a middle school gym bag. Anyway, that's all for today. If you liked this video, then check out my last video, The Miracle on Ice. It's just a simple documentary on how the US team in 1980 beat the undisputed USSR in the Olympics. Anyway, that's all I have time for. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.